What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today I want to do a little film study on Ryan Day's offense at Ohio State. I had a request about this a couple of days ago, and I thought it was a pretty good idea. So what I've done was study most of the games of the last 3 seasons that Day has been there. I put all 3 of those seasons on my new site, FilmJock.com. That's just a great place for me to create playlists of entire seasons, talk about them a little bit. It's just a nice, convenient place to watch an entire season worth of stuff. And that's the way I like those study film. It gives me a nice, broad picture of how a particular coach likes to do things. And with this video, I want to pick one drive from the 2018 season. That's when Day was the offensive coordinator. This was Urban Meyer's last season there. And then we're going to pick a drive from the 2020 season, and you will see the differences in how Day is like to adjust to his talent with formations and concepts and such. 2019 and 2020 are about the same thing. You got pretty much the same talent. Justin Fields was the quarterback for both seasons, so there's not a whole lot of difference, but you can definitely see a difference between 2018 and 2020. So what I like to do is just pick a drive that gives you a nice idea of what a coach likes to do, play by play, to try to score a touchdown. And I picked one from the Michigan game in 2018, and this first play is basic zone read, but it's split zone. What that means is you got your basic zone running or zone blocking with your offensive line, but your tight end / H-back will cross the other side of the line to block for, in this case, it's going to be the quarterback. But this is basic zone read, but the tight end was going to motion over to the left side and come back over to block for the quarterback. So as you see here, he motions over. He's going to fake this and just keep it himself. He's going to get a decent block from the tight end to pick up a solid 8 yards. This next play, they're just trying to pick up an easy first down. So what do? They pretty much run the exact same concept. The H-back, he is going to do a split zone blocking. He's going to go across the line and block on the left side. But since they only need to pick up a yard, it's just an easy decision to give it to the halfback, which is what they do right here, which is J.K. Dobbins, which is a great running back. And here is where things get interesting, especially in the passing game. Dwayne Haskins, apparently his favorite passing concept to use in 2018 was the shallow route, just using that in various forms, whether it be mesh or a single drag route going across. So what you see here is the slot receiver is going to motion across the right, and the play is designed for him. He's going to run a basic drag route back down to the left. The tight end and then the wide receiver up top is going to basically distract any defender that's in that area. And the wide receiver at the very bottom is going to run a basic fade route to clear out for the shallow route. So he's going to go in motion. They're going to snap the ball. And it's literally a one-read setup right here. Just throw it to him. That's just speed outrunning that corner for an easy gain. Here is where they are going to tack on to that shallow route that they on the play before. Now they're going to run full-blown mesh. The halfback is going to go out into the slot, and him and the tight end are going to create that mesh concept by crossing each other. Normally, the drag route that is underneath is going to be the one who's going to catch the ball. The other slot receiver is going to go over the middle just in case something happens with the 2 shallow routes. And then you got your 2 outside guys pretty much clearing everything out for those drag routes to make a play. In this case, it's the guy who's going to go in motion right here. He's going to snap the ball. They love to go 5 wide a ton. He goes underneath the tight end, and he's the one who makes the play. Very nice game. Now they're going to go back to that same split zone blocking look, but this time they're going to pass it. Now the slot receiver is going to go out to the backfield, and they're going to just toss it to him. But you're going to see the H-back do the exact same thing. He's going to cut across the line, going to give that same look. The running back's going to pretend like he's going to get the ball up the middle, but they're just going to toss this to the slot receiver. Now, the problem is he overthrows it. But the whole point of that play is to be able to show that same look to the defense. Something for them to keep in mind later on. So what happens when the previous play doesn't work and it's 3rd and 4? You go back to your bread and butter, which is mesh. Here they're in a gun bunch look. It's technically pistol, but the halfback is going to motion beside the quarterback. He's going to block on this play. And the outside receiver in that little bunch set up top, he's going to be the underneath drag route. He's the one that's going to get the ball here. The wide receiver down below is going to be the drag route above that, with the other two receivers, it's just going to block and distract. So the halfbacks are going to go to motion. They're going to snap it. You go to the one read you pretty much have in this situation, which is the underneath drag route. Just tons of mash and shallow routes in the passing game. That was a staple for them back in 2018. Before we move on to the next drive, I want to talk about a nice complement to the mesh concept, which is the double whip routes. It's essentially fake mesh. Here we got the wide receiver up top running a fade route. The halfback is going to run a wheel route. They're just there to clear out space for any of these whip routes or the comeback route underneath. So you got the slot receiver and the receiver at the very bottom going to run whip routes with the tight end going over the middle just in case he's wide open or the whip routes don't work out. They're going to snap the ball and they're going to go to the whip route underneath. It's just easy money right there. Just very easy yardage, a good complement to mesh. Now that we've looked at a drive for 2018, I want to jump over to 2020 and look at a drive in the Sugar Bowl when Ohio State played Clemson. Now, I want to show you some of the adjustments that Ryan Day made in terms of using personnel and concepts to fit his talent as best he can. And the first play on this drive is an RPO. Now, the best way to tell what an RPO looks like is when you see the entire offensive line run block or do downhill blocking in some form, while you may see a couple skill players go out for a pass. And, of course, you'll see that basic read exchange with the quarterback and the halfback. That doesn't always have to happen, but in this case, that's what happens. So you see a bunch set up at the very top. This is actually 12 personnel. The innermost guy right there, which is a tight end, he's going to motion over closer to the right tackle. And the outside receiver on the very back is going to go out for a screen, while the other tight end is going to block for him. So you're going to see the tight end motion over, and they're going to do a basic RPO look right here. He's going to fake it to the halfback, and he's just going to dump it to the wide receiver for an easy 10-yard gain. This next play is just another RPO. You're going to have the offensive line do down blocking. But this one is a basic out route to the slot receiver while the two outside receivers block. The quarterback is going to fake exchange with the running back, and it's going to be an easy 5 yards. And what's interesting is notice how far back the secondary is. So I'm guessing this is an option route of some sort where the slot receiver kind of knows, hey, if my guy's 10 yards off of me, I'm going to just run a basic out route and take advantage of the situation. So what you see here, just going to snap the ball, and he's just going to pass it for an easy 5 yards. The next play is going to be a basic zone read, at least from what I can tell. Now, in 2018, we saw that split zone blocking with that H-back coming across the line. Here, they don't do that. The halfback in this season, it was Sermon, if I'm not mistaken. He's a more downhill runner. They like to get more vertical with him in the run game. So this is just a basic handoff to him, and it's just going downfield for a big gain. This is a play where the passing game really starts to open up. At least that's what they try to do. You got your two outside receivers going to go on a deep routes. Your two tight ends who are now on the line. The top tight end is going to go over the middle. It looks like he's going for a pass, but he's practically blocking in this case. The tight end to the bottom is going to go on an out route, is going to do the same thing as the halfback who's going to go on an out route. So you see the spacing of all 5 routes, which is excellent here. Now, the top wide receiver is going to motion in a little bit. As you see here, he's going to motion in. He's going to snap the ball, and that's who's going to try to get the ball here. Justin Fields, unfortunately, overthrows it, but look how wide open he is. Easy 6 points. You just got to make the throw. To combat that missed opportunity on the deep ball, Ryan Day decides on this play to go with a QB draw. Pretty much give them the same look in terms of, hey, we're going to go deep on you, but we're going to surprise you with a quarterback draw. Now, with Justin Fields, this is a great play for a guy like him who can really run the ball. So, very simple play. Everybody's going to go out and block, and he's going to pretend like he's going to throw it, but he's just going to run out with it. Just an easy, simple QB draw for 6 yards. So, it's 3rd and 4, and they're going to try to use the passing game again. They feel like they got opportunities here. They just need to complete a pass or two. And you will notice on this play, this is the exact same concept that they used back in 2018. We saw earlier, it's the fake mesh, where you got 2 whip routes pretending like they're going mesh, but they're going to break out to the outside. The top receiver is going to go over the middle, just in case there's an opening right there. And the halfback and the receiver at the very bottom is going to run fade routes to clear everything out. In this case, the receiver at the very top is going to get the ball. So they're going to snap it. He sees an opening over the middle, and he just gives it to the receiver for an easy gain. They're gaining momentum. It's 1st and 10, and Ryan Day decides to go back to the passing game. This time they're going to go play action. Now, this is a flood concept, and the receiver at the very top is going to run a basic fade route. Then the H-back, who is going to show a split zone look, and he's going to run across the line and go out to the flat. The slot receiver is going to go above him with a crossing route, and the receiver at the very bottom is going to run an even deeper crossing route. So a lot of those levels are being covered by routes. It's going to be tough for that defense to get a stop on this one. Now, what ends up happening is apparently he can't find anybody, so he just runs with it. But great blocking by a couple skill players. Good job by a quarterback using his legs. On this next play, they decide to go back to the zone read. Just a simple concept for any quarterback that could run it. And if you got a hoss of a halfback here, they decide just to give it to him. And they got a 2 deep safety look, so it just makes sense just to hand the ball off to him. You see here, they just snap the ball. Just give it to Sermon. Picks up a few yards. Nothing special. And here's the play that sets up everything from what we've just seen before. You're going to use Justin Fields' legs. He loves the rollout, and what they decide to do is, you can't see it here, but they motion a slot receiver over to the left. But this is another flood concept. This time, they're going to roll to the left. The receiver at the very top is going to go run a big, deep crossing route to the left side of the field. The receiver that went in motion is going to run a flat route, while the receiver at the very bottom is going to run a corner route, more or less, giving him 3 options. But this play is all about the tight end running the exact opposite crossing route to the other side. So all 3 of those routes at the beginning is all about just distracting the defense for that tight end to get open. So they're going to snap the ball. He's going to roll to his left. He knows who he's going to. He's going to go right to that tight end who is wide open for an easy 6 points. Just a great play here. So let's sum up Ryan Day's offense. Now, as a disclaimer, it helps to have a lot of talent. Ryan Day walked into a great situation, and Urban Meyer did not leave the cupboard bare. Having said all that, I think Ryan Day does a good job of first adjusting to his talent, using personnel groupings or formations, and using his players' strengths to get the most out of their abilities. He does a great job of getting playmakers to space, especially in the passing game. I noticed every time somebody caught the ball, it was a one-on-one situation. It's also a quarterback-friendly system. He adjusts to his quarterback's strengths, what he feels most comfortable with. Apparently, Dwayne Haskins loves the mesh, shallow drag, whatever you want to call it, that concept. And then you got Justin Fields. He likes to get out and run a little bit more with play action, rollouts, RPOs, zone reads, and such. You know, this offense also attacks the entire field at one point or another in a ball game, where they're going over the top, hitting screens on the outside or out routes, maybe RPOs where the running back gets it up the gut, or split zone blocking, just anything and everything. That field will be attacked in some shape or form. But in the end, this is still your typical gun spread stuff. It's nothing truly innovative per se, but when you put good, simple philosophies together of a spread offense with 5-star bodies, you're going to have a pretty good offense. Now, you got to remember, this entire video was way oversimplified. There's a lot more to his scheme than what I showed you. But hopefully these 2 drives gives you a rough idea of what Ryan Day and Ohio State likes to do. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll talk to you later.